Stop. Could a small coin in your pocket be worth thousands or even lakhs? Hello friends, welcome back to Vintage Coins RP. Today, we're going to talk about 4 incredible historical US coins, not just 1 cent or 5 cent coins, but hidden treasures as well. We'll uncover the real story behind these coins, their shocking rarity, and their true market value, which might surprise you. So, if you're a coin lover or have some old coins lying around, make sure you watch this video till the end, because today's episode is going to be very special. Don't forget to like the channel, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. So let's get started. The 1943p Jefferson nickel is one of the most historically important 5-cent coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Officially known as the Jefferson 5-cent coin, this coin carries the obverse inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1943, while the reverse reads "United States of America, e pluribus unum, 5 cents," and features the iconic image of Monticello, the historic Virginia home of Thomas Jefferson. What makes the 1943p nickel especially unique is its large P mint mark placed above Monticello on the reverse. This was the first time in U.S. history that the Philadelphia Mint used a P mint mark on a regular issue coin. The Jefferson nickel series itself began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel design. The coin was designed by German-American sculptor Felix Schlag, whose portrait of Thomas Jefferson appears on the obverse. Jefferson, the third President of the United States, 1801 to 1809, and principal author of the Declaration of Independence, was chosen to symbolize American democracy and independence. His home, Monticello, was selected for the reverse design as a tribute to his architectural skill and intellectual legacy. The design has remained one of the longest-running in American coinage history, with modifications over time. The 1943p nickel is often called a war nickel. During World War II, nickel metal was considered a strategic material needed for military equipment, especially armor plating. Because of wartime shortages, the U.S. government altered the composition of the 5-cent coin from 1942 to 1945. Instead of the traditional 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, the 1943p nickel was made of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This change allowed nickel metal to be reserved for the war effort. As a result, these coins contain real silver, which gives them additional intrinsic and collectible value. The large mint mark above Monticello was introduced specifically to identify these special silver alloy coins. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 271,165,000 of the 1943p nickels. Despite the high mintage, many were heavily circulated during the war years, so high-grade uncirculated examples are more desirable today. Coins in circulated condition are common, but those in mint state, MS65 and above, can command significant premiums, especially if they display strong luster and minimal contact marks. From a collecting perspective, the 1943p war nickel holds strong appeal. It is affordable for beginner collectors yet historically significant enough for advanced numismatists. Because of its silver content, it is often separated from regular nickels when people search through old coin rolls. The silver gives the coin a slightly different color tone, often a dull gray compared to the brighter appearance of modern copper-nickel nickels. Over time, some war nickels develop beautiful toning, with shades of blue, gold, or violet, increasing their desirability. Errors and varieties also exist within the 1943p series. Some coins show doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or striking irregularities. While rare, these error coins can be worth far more than standard examples. Collectors carefully examine the Monticello steps on the reverse, coins with full steps detail, meaning the horizontal lines at the base of Monticello are sharply defined, are particularly valuable in higher grades. In terms of market value, a circulated 1943p war nickel is typically worth more than face value due to its silver content. The melt value fluctuates with silver prices, but even worn examples usually sell for several times their original 5-cent denomination. Uncirculated coins may range from moderate to significantly higher prices depending on grade and eye appeal. Certified high-grade specimens graded by professional services can reach impressive auction results. Historically, the 1943p nickel represents a powerful symbol of America's homefront sacrifice during World War II. Every coin tells a story of a nation adapting its resources for survival and victory. While small in size, this 5-cent piece reflects industrial change, artistic craftsmanship, and patriotic history. For collectors in Pakistan, India, the the United States, and around the world, the 1943p Jefferson War nickel remains an accessible yet meaningful piece of global wartime heritage. In conclusion, the 1943p Jefferson nickel is far more than an ordinary 5-cent coin. With its silver composition, historic mint mark innovation, connection to Thomas Jefferson, and wartime legacy, it stands as one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history. Whether found in old collections, inherited coin jars, or purchased from dealers, this coin continues to captivate collectors and historians alike, a small but shining reminder of a world at war and a nation united under the motto E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. The 1944p Jefferson 5-cent coin, commonly known as the 1944p War nickel, is one of the most historically significant coins ever issued by the United States Mint. This coin carries the obverse inscriptions "In God We Trust," Liberty, and the year 1944, along with the large portrait of Thomas Jefferson. On the reverse, it displays United States of America, E pluribus unum, 5 cents, and the image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia. The most noticeable feature of this particular issue is the large P mint mark positioned prominently above Monticello. This was the first time in American coinage history that the Philadelphia Mint used a P mint mark on a regular circulating coin, making the wartime nickels instantly recognizable and historically distinctive. The Jefferson nickel series originally began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The coin was designed by talented sculptor Felix Schlag, whose classical portrait of Jefferson has become one of the most familiar images in American coinage. Jefferson, the third president of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence, symbolized democracy, knowledge, and national identity. His estate, Monticello, was chosen for the reverse as a tribute to his architectural vision and intellectual legacy. The 1944 issue continued this design tradition but stands apart because of its special wartime composition. During World War II, nickel metal was declared a strategic war material needed for military armor and equipment. To conserve nickel for the war effort, the U.S. government changed the composition of the 5-cent coin from late 1942 through 1945. The 1944p nickel was struck in an alloy consisting of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This unique composition gave the coin a slightly dull gray appearance compared to earlier nickel coins, and it also means that every genuine 1944p nickel contains real silver. Because of this silver content, these coins are often called war nickels. They are the only U.S. nickels ever made with silver for regular circulation. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 119,150,000 pieces of the 1944p war nickel. Although this is a substantial number, many examples saw heavy circulation during wartime America, when coins were used extensively in daily commerce. As a result, high-grade uncirculated specimens are more desirable today among collectors. In circulated condition, the coin typically shows where on Jefferson's hair, cheek, and jawline on the obverse, and on the steps and columns of Monticello on the reverse. Coins that retain sharp detail and original mint luster are more valuable. Collectors pay special attention to the full steps detail on Monticello. The steps at the base of the building are often weakly struck or worn down in circulation. If a 1944p nickel displays 5 or 6 clearly separated steps, it is considered a full steps example and commands a significant premium in higher grades. Additionally, error varieties such as doubled dies or repunched mint marks exist, although they are relatively rare. These varieties can greatly increase a coin's market value. From a value standpoint, the 1944p war nickel is worth more than its face value due to its silver content. Even worn examples are typically valued based on their melt value, which fluctuates with global silver prices. Uncirculated coins in mint state grades such as MS65 or higher can bring considerably higher prices, especially if professionally graded and certified by a reputable third-party grading service. Beautifully toned examples with rainbow coloration are also highly sought after by advanced collectors. Historically, the 1944p Jefferson nickel represents America's adaptation and resilience during World War II. Every war nickel tells a story of sacrifice and industrial innovation. By altering the composition of everyday coins, the nation demonstrated its commitment to supporting the military effort overseas. The large P mint mark above Monticello became a symbol of that extraordinary period in history. For coin collectors around the world, including enthusiasts who carefully study American wartime coinage, the 1944p war nickel remains an affordable yet meaningful collectible. It combines silver content, artistic design, presidential heritage, and wartime history in one small 5-cent piece. Though modest in size, it carries immense historical weight, reflecting a time when even the smallest objects were shaped by global events. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum" remind us of unity and faith during challenging times, while the image of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello preserves the enduring ideals of liberty and democracy. The 1956 D Lincoln 1 cent is a classic mid-20th century American coin struck by the United States Mint at its Denver facility, indicated by the small D mint mark beneath the date. This coin belongs to the famous Lincoln wheat cent series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958. On the obverse, it features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, along with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" on the left side, and the date 1956 with the D mint mark below it. On the reverse, it displays the words "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and 1 cent, framed by 2 stylized wheat ears. Because of this reverse design, the coin is widely known as the wheat penny or wheat cent. The Lincoln Cent series was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure rather than a symbolic representation of liberty. The coin's original design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appeared on the earliest 1909 issues. Brenner's portrait of Lincoln became one of the most enduring designs in American numismatic history. By 1956, the design had already been in circulation for nearly 5 decades, making it a familiar and trusted coin in everyday American commerce. The 1956 D cent was composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, with a total weight of 3.11 grams and a diameter of 19 millimeters. This bronze alloy was standard for Lincoln cents of the period, except for the special steel cents produced during World War II. The 1956 D was struck during a time of economic growth and post-war stability in the United States, and the Denver Mint produced approximately 1,098,201,100 pieces. This extremely high mintage makes it one of the more common wheat cents, especially in circulated grades. However, high-grade uncirculated examples with strong red color remain desirable among collectors. In circulated condition, a 1956 D Lincoln cent typically shows wear on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and hair, while the wheat stalks on the reverse may appear flattened or less detailed. Because so many were produced and heavily circulated, finding one in well-worn condition is common. However, collectors place special value on coins graded mint state, MS, particularly those with full original mint luster and bright red copper surfaces. Over time, copper coins naturally tone and darken, turning from bright red to brown. Coins are often categorized as red, road, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, with full red examples commanding the highest premiums in higher grades. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1956 D cent is the existence of minor varieties and errors. Some collectors search for repunched mint marks, RPM, where the D mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These varieties can carry additional value depending on their visibility and condition. There are also occasional die cracks, off-center strikes, and other minting anomalies that add uniqueness to individual pieces. While the 1956 D is not considered rare, these small variations keep collectors interested and engaged. From a market perspective, the 1956 D Lincoln cent is generally affordable. Circulated examples are usually worth only slightly above face value, mainly due to their copper content and collectability. Uncirculated coins in high grades, particularly those graded MS65 red or higher by professional grading services, can sell for significantly more. Exceptionally well-preserved examples with strong strike detail and vibrant color may achieve premium prices at auction. Still, compared to earlier key dates in the series, the 1956 D remains an accessible entry point for new collectors building a complete wheat cent set. Historically, the 1956 D penny represents the final years of the wheat reverse design, which would be replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse. This change marked the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and introduced a new chapter in the coin's history. As a result, the 1956 D is part of the closing era of the original wheat-ear design that had circulated through 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and decades of American transformation. Holding a 1956 D wheat penny is like holding a small piece of mid-century American history. In conclusion, The 1956 D Lincoln 1 cent is not a rare coin in terms of mintage, but it carries strong historical, artistic, and sentimental value. Featuring the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the patriotic mottos "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum," and the classic wheat ear reverse, it remains one of the most beloved coins in U.S. numismatics. Whether found in pocket change, inherited in a family collection, or preserved in brilliant uncirculated condition, the 1956 D wheat penny continues to connect collectors with America's rich monetary heritage. The 1958 D Lincoln 1 cent is one of the final and historically meaningful issues of the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series struck by the United States Mint. Minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D mint mark below the date, this coin represents the closing chapter of the wheat reverse design that had been in circulation since 1909. On the obverse, the coin displays the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, along with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" across the top, "Liberty" on the left side, and the date 1958 with the D mint mark just beneath it. On the reverse, it bears the inscriptions "United States of America," "E Pluribus Unum," and 1 cent, framed by 2 elegant wheat ears that give the coin its popular name, the wheat penny. The Lincoln Cent series was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It marked a revolutionary moment in American coinage because it was the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regularly circulating U.S. coin. The design was created by noted sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose artistic portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognized images in American history. By 1958, this design had been circulating for nearly 50 years, witnessing major historical events such as World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, and the early years of the Cold War. The 1958 D thus stands as a symbolic end to an era before the reverse design changed in 1959 to feature the Lincoln Memorial. The 1958 D cent was struck in a bronze alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing approximately 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. During this period, copper cents were a common part of everyday American transactions, and billions were produced annually to meet demand. The Denver Mint struck approximately 800,953,300 examples of the 1958 D penny, making it a very common coin in circulated grades. Because of this high mintage, most examples found today show varying degrees of wear from years of use in commerce. In circulated condition, the 1958 D penny typically shows smoothing on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and hair details, while the wheat stalks on the reverse may appear flattened or worn. However, collectors often seek out uncirculated specimens that retain their original mint luster. Copper coins are especially prized when they maintain their bright reddish color, known as red road. Over time, copper naturally oxidizes and darkens, changing to red-brown RB and eventually brown BN. High-grade coins graded MS65 red or higher can command significantly higher prices than circulated examples. One of the most famous and valuable varieties in the entire Lincoln Cent series is the 1958 doubled die obverse. Although extremely rare, this dramatic error shows strong doubling in the inscriptions and date. Only a few genuine examples are known to exist, and they have sold for very high prices at auction. However, it is important to note that most 1958 D pennies do not display this ray doubling. Collectors must carefully examine coins for signs of machine doubling versus true doubled die characteristics. Additionally, minor repunched mint marks, RPMs, and die cracks may also be found, adding interest to this otherwise common date. The historical importance of the 1958 D Lincoln Cent lies in its position as the last year of the wheat reverse design. In 1959, to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse was redesigned to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. As a result, the 1958 D represents the final year of a classic design that had endured for half a century. Many collectors consider it a sentimental favorite because it marks the end of the original wheat penny era. From a market standpoint, circulated 1958 D cents are generally affordable and often valued slightly above face value due to copper content and collectability. Uncirculated examples in brilliant red condition can be worth more, depending on grade and eye appeal. Professionally graded coins in superb condition are especially desirable among serious numismatists completing high-quality registry sets. In conclusion, the 1958 D Lincoln 1 cent is a historically significant coin that combines artistic heritage, presidential legacy, and numismatic tradition. Featuring Abraham Lincoln's enduring portrait, the patriotic mottos "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum," and the iconic wheat ear reverse, this coin stands as the final representative of a design that shaped generations of American coinage. Though common in most grades, it carries deep historical meaning and remains an essential piece for collectors who appreciate the rich story of U.S. numismatic history.